All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Connection Hangout. Tonight is the Doctor's Connection. Now, my co-host, David Asano, is not able to join us this week. He's on vacay, and so we wish him a great vacation, him and his family. But tonight, I have as my special co-host the beautiful Dr. Pilar Labriola in Ramsey, New Jersey. Welcome, Pilar.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Paul. Hello, Dr. Cullum. I am very honored that you said the beautiful before that, because technically sometimes you say other words before my name, other adjectives. So I'm happy with the beautiful tonight.
I still have bruises from those times. Those marks.
You do.
Yeah, Renew 28 even working on some of those.
Yes, it's a very good advertisement for Renew. Just look at Paul.
Yeah, the torch marks and the hammer back. Yeah, that they don't go away as fast as I'd like them to. I'm putting them on twice a day too. Now, if anyone out there has any comments, would like to chime in right beneath the screen there in the comment section. We'd love to have you chime in and just say hi. Let us know where you're viewing from. The Connection Hangout is not a business presentation, nor is it a product training. We do this call every week in this time slot to connect to real people getting real results. We have sometimes corporate executives on the call. We have celebrities, athletes, and everyday people, so that you can really get a feel for them as people, what they do during their days, and the results they've been experiencing with ASEA, Renew 28, and the business. So if you would like more information regarding ASEA or its technology, please get back to the person who invited you to be on this Hangout, as they would be more than happy to direct you to additional information. All right, without further ado, let me go and introduce tonight's very special guest. It is Dr. Dan Cullum, and Dr. Dan grew up in the Oklahoma Panhandle region. When he was a young man, he suffered a serious back injury, which set him on a path into chiropractic. And along the way, Dr. Dan discovered various alternative healing modalities, and his practice today now includes things like applied and clinical kinesiology, homeopathy, hypnotherapy, treatment of blood and damaged joints with ozonation, also injectable nutrition, and much, much more. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Doctor's Connection Hangout, Dr. Dan Cullum.
Thank you. Hi.
How's it going, Dr. Dan?
Hey, it's going good. How about you guys?
Fantastic.
Yeah,
We're excited. We are excited to have you on the call tonight. And first off, we generally like to connect to our guests on a very human level right out of the gate. So before we even get started with questions regarding ASEA, I understand that you have an interesting passion for gardening that includes fish. And can you share some of this passion with our viewers and how it all got started?
Yeah, I very first remember gardening with my grandma out on the farm, and I didn't think much about it then, but she would always tell us what this was and go pick some pigweed and this stuff, rhubarb. And so I'd always kind of had a garden, and the last couple of years I've been wanting to build a greenhouse, and we just didn't know what to build. And finally my son, he's 37, he designed a greenhouse after looking at everything on the internet. He designed it from scratch and brought it over, and we started building it. And it ended up being 20 by 40 in size, and we made it an aquaponics greenhouse. So we have the fish in the tanks, and they supply the nutrients for the food for the plants, and the plants supply the roots to clean the water, and it drains back into the fish tank, and it's just a cycling thing there. So it's aquaponics.
Oh, a whole ecosystem. That's pretty neat.
Yeah. And I like that because, I'm not real sure where the economy is going and the political landscape, and I like to have fresh, organic food, so if something ever happens, I got it.
Nice. Fantastic.
That's amazing.
How much food are we talking about being produced here?
Well, I can probably feed 20 people because I have over 1,000 fish growing, tilapia, and plants. I've got about 10 grow beds, and I've got green plants growing. I've got green beans. I got tomatoes. I got tomatoes that are all the way to the ceiling, and the ceiling is 13 foot tall.
Wow. Looks like party at Dr. Dan's house, all I have to say.
Yeah.
You should never make that kind of statement out loud in front of us, buddy. We'll be going to Oklahoma faster than you can say hello.
You just don't know how far Oklahoma is from you.
I don't care. There's airplanes. Listen, so I was taking a look at your curriculum vitae. It's so impressive. And, you know, there was a starting point for you, right? And I know a lot of wellness practitioners who are motivated into their profession because of something like life-changing or some kind of major event. Now, I know in your case, Paul kind of mentioned it earlier, you had the same thing kind of happen. Can you tell us a little bit about it, your journey? Tell us a little bit about what happened and you know, why you love helping people resolve their challenges and why it's become such a great drive for you.
Well, you know, the injury that brought me to chiropractic, I was a diesel mechanic first. My passion was mechanics. I love working on cars and engines and everything. I mean, I started at 5 years old taking engines apart and putting them back together and fixing stuff. So I've always been a fix-it type guy with my hands. So I love mechanics, and I never wanted to go to a day of school after high school. In fact, I barely made it through high school. But after about 10 years of busting my knuckles and climbing in and out of combines that were so hot you couldn't even see straight, I decided there had to be a better way. So chiropractic had helped me in an injury. So I thought, well, I met this guy, and he said, they'll spoon feed it to you, Dan. If you can just go, they'll make sure you get through. He was a liar.
They do not spoon feed you. Oh.
Yeah, he was right, but the spoon is 12 foot wide. So anyway, you know, and I just, ever since I started schooling back to college and getting my prerequisites and getting into chiropractic school, I just had this driving passion to be on the cutting edge and always doing. Our biochemistry teacher started showing us homeopathy in our first trimester. So homeopathy, man, I grabbed a hold of it and I started in my practice, and then it just kept growing. And we use all sorts of herbs and different things that are created from alchemy, which was created back in Egypt time. And you know, we've just always been on the cutting edge. And then got involved with ozone and CPK, Chiro Plus kinesiology, using clinical and applied kinesiology, takes you to a level where you can figure out exactly what's going on in the body at the organ level, at the cellular level, and you don't have to guess. I mean, you can test. I test everything in my practice. I test every vitamin, every nutrient, every procedure, every protocol. I test to make sure it's right for the patient. So I see lots of stuff come down the pipe. People say, oh, this is the magic bullet. This will cure this. This will fix everything. Well, I've learned a long time ago there's not a silver bullet. There's not a fix everything. But when I ran across redox signaling molecules and started testing them, I was blown out of the water. I mean, it changed my whole practice because it changed my patients' lives. And I have patients that come to me from all over the country that have been everywhere else first. This is their last stop. So if I don't get results, they don't get well. And most of my patients were already getting well, but sometimes they'll hit a wall and have to look and search to the next appropriate protocol. But when I started using redox signaling molecules, every single one of my patients improved. No matter where they were in the healing process, they improved. And so, you know, that's the type of things that I'm looking for, and that's what makes my life exciting, is being able to come to work every day. And I live right across the driveway from my home. So a while ago when I told Paul we're having technical problems, I had to go from home to the office. It was only 50 feet, Paul, so
Right.
anyway, that's what drives me.
So here's really the million-dollar question with regards to this too is, how are you introduced to ASEA, and what have you personally experienced using the technology?
Okay, you know, I ran into ASEA this last February at the American Academy of Ozonotherapy conference. which I was so lucky to be a founding member of that organization, and it's phenomenal. And Dr. Gary and Dr. Kim and some other people, I've known them for a long time, but I've met Dr. Kim finally this year, and he was a chiropractor, and he come over and he said, Dan, you got to look at this. I go, yeah. And he kept working on me all week long. And finally, he says, this is something you should look at. And I said, okay, because you say I should, Kim, I'll do it. Here's my 2 girls. They'll take care of it. Because I had a booth there, too, at the conference. And so they signed me all up and got everything ordered. And I didn't know the first thing about multi-level marketing or personal sharing. All I knew was I wanted to do the product, but I really didn't want to worry about the business. Well, after I came home and started on the product, there was a condition that I had with skin stuff that I've been working with my whole life. My mom was not too healthy when I was born, so I had eczema, and I had all sorts of problems. But I tell you, I had my skin stuff controlled really well, but just a little bit of irritation all the time. After 2 weeks on redoxynylate molecules in ASEA, all of my skin stuff was gone. And I said, you know what? I looked down my arms, I felt my face, I said, this is some kick-ass stuff, man. That's when I started giving it to my patients, and I saw the same thing. And then I really had to get involved with the business, because something this good, you just can't sit on the sideline.
I love how you're saying that. He's right. Something this good cannot sit on the sidelines. That is like the perfect thing to say, Doc. So now my husband and I have been putting our patients on it for about 3.5 years. Now I know you've probably seen some really cool things, but what are some of the differences you've seen with your patients before and after introducing the redox supplement to support, their immune systems, and how has ASEA impacted the amount of the other nutritional needs that you work with? Like, how are things changing?
Well, like I said earlier, all of my patients that are on it, and that's all of them.
Very good.
I don't think I have one patient that's not on the product. And, because I test things every time they come in, I'm able to see changes that are subtle. They'll feel it, but I can see it, and I chart everything, and so the next time they come in, I go, okay, how you doing? Oh, about the same. Okay, last time you were here, you had X, Y, and Z. Oh, that's gone now. Let's see, what have we done different between last time and this time? The only thing we changed was we started you on ASEA. That must be working pretty good for you. Oh, yeah, I noticed the second day. So they start remembering. Patients forget stuff. They forget how they felt bad, and they forget it pretty quickly. So as my job as their doctor, I've got to document and show them that they're getting well, even if they forget. And so one of the big things that I noticed was the reduction in other supplements, because I calculate everything down to the T. So I would lay everything on them, and I'd start calculating. I go, if I put the ASEA here with these supplements, it reduces the dosage of the other supplements by about 2/3. If I take the ASEA off, back up. So, I do that kind of testing, and that's what I noticed, a reduction in other supplements, which indicated to me that the body is utilizing the supplementation that I'm giving them much more efficiently.
Fantastic.
This is cool. This is cool to hear.
Well, and I think Dr. Cullum makes a really good point as well with the fact that he tracks his patients, and that's also part of like our health awareness form, and even in the product usage guide, right? Is to have everyone do initial health assessment. So even if they aren't, like for all you folks out there who may not be working with a doctor who's ASEA friendly, if you will. That's something you definitely want to do. You state as soon as you get on before you even get on the product, take that health assessment. See exactly where you're at now, and so as you go forward and as you're tracking, you might have forgotten that, hey, that's right, I've been sleeping so much better. That's right, I forgot about that. whatever ache or pain or whatnot you were having challenge with. And so you can really know the difference before and after. Because like you said, sometimes people, they just get in a zone and they just, oh yeah, I don't really think it's doing anything. And you go, well, how about that stuff you were talking about? Oh yeah, it's not there anymore. Yeah.
And listen,
it's amazing.
Yeah, and we've seen it in our practice. People for something they've had for years, it goes away, and you remind them of it, and they're like, I can't believe I couldn't even remember I had it. So that was a really good point that you brought up, Doc. Thank you very much, because we do have that in the product usage guide, and it is important, very crucial for any of us to make sure we go over that kind of that body survey with them.
Super.
Yeah,
Super. Now let's shift gears here a little bit on the business side of things. I know that Dr. Cullum recently attended the ASEA's annual convention here a couple months back, and you heard firsthand about the results of the new blood flow studies, as well as the cellulite studies, and the certification by Bioagilitics that verifies that we are the first redox supplement in the world. So what's your take on some of these new announcements?
You know, it's amazing, and I didn't get to meet you personally there, Paul, but congratulations on your award. I mean, that's phenomenal.
Thank you.
Agreed.
Right. You were so far away, and there were so many people between you and me, but I just wanted to say congratulations, and my hat's off to you. That's an amazing accomplishment. And, you know, ASEA, I was at the convention, and ASEA, it impressed me because the company has so much integrity from the top clear down to the bottom that it doesn't surprise me that those tests from Bioagilitics and the blood flow tests show what they show, and that the product is so good because the company has that much integrity. And the blood flow thing, that blew me away. When you put this product on and you have more blood flow in 96 hours than you did when you just put it on, something's going on. That's big time change. And the cellulite studies, I took pictures of those slides, and I bet I've sent those pictures to 100 people. And those are some great looking cheeks, let me tell you.
Thank you.
But you know what's interesting in those pictures is I think there's a lot of people have a preconceived notion that it's only obese people that get cellulite. But you know, the education there, even at convention, was that it happens to 90% of women. So the market potential, you know, really was, I think, made us all aware of you know, how big it was.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Oh, sorry, you weren't asking me any questions just then, were you?
You don't have any of that stuff.
Watch your mouth. You know what, Dr. Dan, I am, like, I can tell how passionate you are about ASEA and its technology and stuff, but I understand that you're pretty interested in building a business as well. So can you share you know, your business goals with our viewers and where you see your ASEA business growing? I'd love to hear that.
You know, someday I want to be up there getting that award that Paul got. That's where I want to be.
Yeah.
That's great.
Because the I Am ASEA award, it just says it all, you know. So that's my goal, and I did get to speak with I forgot his name already. The company.
Tyler Vertis.
Vertis. Yeah, I was in the Vertis Club. How could I forget that?
Because that's a very tough name. That's a very tough name, and Vertis doesn't even like the name, so that's very.
I kind of know how he feels.
Yeah. So you know, I told Vertis, I said, I'm going to be a diamond by the end of this year, and he says, good for you. My hat's off to you. And so, you know, I don't know if we'll make diamond by the end of the year, but I'm doing my best. I'm really. I came home, and like I said, I was going to let the girls run the business, and that just doesn't work. I had to get my hands on it and say, you know, not now. You know, I've got to do it myself. I can't let somebody else do it. So that's why I'm.
You know what? And let me make up a really good point that he's making right there. Now, he talked about Dr. Kim was pretty tenacious about, having you listen to him, and obviously he was probably very tenacious about getting you to convention. And that, Paul, is, I think, a great testimonial right there of someone, with your knowledge, Dr. Dan, that we need. We love hearing this stuff, and I know our viewers do. But, like, to have you go to convention and come back and, like, switch have that paradigm shift of, like, look, I want to do this. I want to be the I am a Sia. He's right, Paul, that says it all. That shows you, the viewers, get on the phone, ask the question, tell them to come with you, tell them to get to these events. These are leaders. You're looking at a future leader right here, and they're born at these events. So that right there is a testimonial to beg, steal, and borrow, but get these people to events because you can have the next Dr. Dan. I think that's an amazing testimonial, Doc.
That is. That's a great point. Okay, in closing here, so you talked a little bit about your ASEA goals and what you want to achieve here. In a more long-term or broader sense, I'd heard that your dream is to retire in Belize, and so tell us a little bit about that, and you could share about that and where you see your just basically what all that entails.
Well, people in Belize need ASEA too,
Yes.
So.
Move over, buddy. I'm coming. Okay, sorry.
So out of curiosity,
after I retire, I don't have to quit selling ASEA and using ASEA. So.
That's right.
So out of curiosity, because I've heard a lot of interesting things about the country of Belize. Some people call it Belize or whatnot, but from what I understand, it's kind of like a Sedona or Kauai, where there's certain healthy energies where different parts of the earth have a better. Is that one of the reasons maybe that you're targeting retiring in that area?
No. I just went down there. One of my friends said you should go down there and check it out, and I went down there, and it was so peaceful and relaxed, and their pace, it's a slow pace. It's like, well, if you get it done today, all right, but if you don't, there's tomorrow or the next day, So it's like, well, I think I'll go fishing today. No, I think I'll just sit out on the beach. I'll go fishing tomorrow. So, and I was able to find a nice little piece of property, and we're looking at a really cool, neat house. It's called an earth ship, and those utilize the earth to heat and cool, and it's all self-sustained, so it's pretty cool.
Oh, very cool, very cool. I could do that for about a week, I think. I'd go stir crazy, but I definitely appreciate it. Yeah, definitely. But if you're doing this earth ship, and I guarantee, keep your mind active, you're probably building, expanding it, making it better, growing your tomatoes to the roof. I'm sure you'd find a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah, and I plan on treating people down there too. I'm not going to ever probably retire completely because I love my work. My work is my passion. And so when you have a product like ASEA that helps you accomplish your passion, that's even better. So just phenomenal.
I'm going to tell you what. Just listening to you, Doc, I'm excited again. It's I love hearing that passion. I love we have a real opportunity here to help people all over the world. And you're saying that people in Belize need they need to see it too. And I love that you're in this company with us, and I look forward to seeing what you're going to do. And I say hello when I meet you. I can't wait to meet you.
Yeah. Thanks. I appreciate it. I'm glad to be here with you guys, too.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much, Dr. Dan Cullum, for being our guest tonight on the Doctors Connection Hangout. All right, everyone. Thanks also to my special co-host for tonight, Dr. Pilar Labriola. And I want to make an announcement that I've gotten confirmation from a couple of athletes, some of the ASEA athletes, like Gerard-Louis Robert, who is now broken multiple world records for master track cycling. Last event he competed in, the French Track Masters, he took 4 gold medals in. So this last season he broke the number of medals won in a single season. He's going to be joining us in an upcoming Connection Hangout, as well as Brian McChrystal, who's on Team ASEA Ireland. and they crushed all kinds of records this last year as well. And they had the #1 rider there in Ireland. His name's Damien Shaw. So just been doing phenomenal things over there as well. So stay tuned. Those are all coming up. Just want to make those announcements, and we'll announce next week's guest coming up here in just a few days. So once again, thanks everyone for tuning in. Go out and have a fantastic rest of your evening, rest of the week, and I'll see you later. Take care.
See you later, everybody.
Bye.